like the video you saw of $95,000. I mean, that's at $500,000 now. We've done $500,000 in 11 weeks. If I said to you right now, like, hey, give me $1, I'll give you $3. And for every dollar you give me, I'll give you another $3. How many dollars are you going to give me?
Stanley Henry's organic social media agency generates around $10 million in revenue without paid ads. He gave Claude Code all his business knowledge. He made $500,000 in 11 weeks. And he explains how in this episode.
I've always been wanting to sell some education products and some digital products based on what we do to small businesses. Because Claude had all my knowledge, it's like, well, this is it. And it just turned it into a product. And then we turned it into 10 different products. The last webinar, we had 500 people on it. So I did $75,000 in two hours.
Did you ask Claude to give you ideas on what workshops you should do?
I had it do research across like Reddit and threads and social and stuff to find out like, what are people saying? What are people asking? And because it can do that at light speed, it could just go through and read millions of comments and threads and stuff. And then it could validate my hypothesis. That would take, in the past, agencies like literally months to figure out, you know, and you can do that within like 4 minutes.
So your suggestion is, if someone listening thinking, oh, I don't know how to do Claude, I don't know how to do Claude Code, how do you do this brain thing? What's your advice for these people?
My advice would be, it's time or money.
Today's episode is brought to you by AcademyEx, New Zealand's premier postgraduate institute for business owners and professionals. They're an absolute game changer for New Zealand business owners and professionals who are ready to stop talking about the next level and actually build the skills to get there. You can hit the link below or scan the QR code on your screen to learn more about AcademyEx. What I'm really interested to find out from you is, you've recently had ads popping in my face every now and then. Yeah. It says, I make $95,000 with Claude Code.
Yeah.
And I was like, how the heck does he do that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go straight in and break that down.
Cool. Perfect. So you want to know how I did that?
Yeah.
Look, the way we used it is a lot of people use AI by like a chatbot. Like they go into ChatGPT or Claude and they type stuff into it and they pump it out. And some people are a little bit more advanced who have like figured out projects and they do a little thing in projects and they put some context in. What I figured out, we've been using AI since ChatGPT came out. We've been very much like trying to see where this technology goes. And at the start of this year, we changed the way that we use it, which Anthropic themselves sort of came out saying like this is probably the best practice at the moment, which was to create a folder on your computer which has a series of files in it, which essentially has all the context of your whole business. And then on top of that, you create a way that your this particular folder keeps ingesting more and more context of your brain. And so we did that. And by the end of that, we had this brain that knew everything about what we could do, and all of our knowledge, all of our transcripts that we've been recording for 3 years, everything was all digested into this thing. Yeah. And I said, hey, I've always been wanting to sell some education products and some digital products based on what we do to small businesses, because our agency is best serving larger companies. And so small businesses it's not really worth them to pay us for what we do. They're not going to get the return. But I knew that there was a way to make like a digital product or like education products that small businesses could use and we could still really help them. Anyway, because Claude had all my knowledge, it's like, well, this is it. And it just turned it into a product. And then we turned it into 10 different products. And then we used it to develop marketing strategies and marketing campaigns that we didn't have the resources to launch ourselves. And it just did it.
Okay.
Because we told it the problem we had.
Okay, I'm going to break this down.
Yeah.
Because if someone listening going, what?
Yeah. Went straight over the head.
Yeah, thank you for that lovely bird's eye view overhead. I think you talked about a folder on your computer.
Yep.
And then you talked about everything in there.
Yep.
And then, anyway, so we'll go into the folder.
Yeah.
Do you have to have for people who are wondering, like Claude, are you talking about Claude Cowork, or are you talking about Claude Chats or Code?
Yeah, we use Claude Code.
Okay.
But you can use Claude Cowork. Claude Cowork is a tool that they made that's somewhere in between chat and code. And it's like probably 60% of the power of code, but the usability of chat.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you can do it, but we use Claude Code. It's much more powerful. It can do a lot more things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And someone who has no idea how to make Claude Code, even if they make a lot of money, but they haven't gone down that route yet.
How do they get into it?
Yeah. Was it easy for an average person to get into it?
once you understand the concept, it's easy.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're a business owner and you have some random off the street probably couldn't have done what I did, who didn't have a business and did nothing there. And what I tell people a lot of the time, when you build this context brain, there has to be a business at the middle of it. Like the Claude isn't the business, Anthropic makes the money. They're not you. So you need something else that sits at the center of it. You need an idea or a business that's going to work from. And so anyone who understands the concept of how this brain is sort of built, that we build it around this folder, anyone could then do it. It's really easy. Because the best thing with AI is that if you don't understand, just ask it and it'll tell you how to do it.
Exactly.
So it's actually really simple to do. Where people get concerned and worried about it is that they think it's technology. They think, usually if you got any person off the street right now and ask them to operate your equipment here, they'd have no idea.
Yeah.
They'd have no idea about this equipment that you're using to make this podcast. It'd be so hard for them. And so that bias that we have for using technology, we now extend to AI.
Yeah.
But that's not how AI works.
Right.
So with AI, if you don't know how to use it, you just ask it, it'll tell it.
Yeah.
The problem that people have is they don't know what they want. And that's true in all fields, in all worlds. We don't actually know the problem we're trying to solve. And that's usually why you go to a consultant or an agency or, a professional service. You go to an accountant because you're not actually sure the problem that you're facing in cash flow.
Yeah.
So you get your accountant to help you unpack that problem. So what I knew and what I'm my skill is in my business is as the business owner, the business acumen that I have and the entrepreneurship that I have, I'm not the marketer, I'm the CEO.
Right.
And so I understood what I wanted to sell as a product. I understood that I had this and I could articulate that problem to AI and then it helped me solve it. And then it also, because of this folder system that we had, it also had all the context it needed to be able to solve it for me, if that makes sense, rather than just a generic answer based on its own knowledge.
Okay.
It now had all mine.
So you basically went from Claude Code and you told Claude Code to create like a brain, a system, and you asked it to access that folder, which has all your details, and to synthesize it and create a course or a program.
Yeah, essentially. So imagine you have actually a lot of people have this already. So you might have like a OneNote or a OneDrive that has a bunch of files on it that talk about all the work that you've done, all your brand guidelines, tone of voice, all that sort of stuff, all that information that helps you when you onboard a staff member to tell them about your business and everything that it is that you do, right? You might have training manuals and SOPs and all that sort of stuff. And it's all written in natural language. It's all normal stuff. Well, AI can read all of that. And so you can onboard it as a staff member, but it also just so happens to have all of human history in it as well. So it has all of this context from all the stuff it's been trained on, plus all of your specific context that you have. And then once it has that, imagine an entrepreneur listening today, or a business owner, or even like a really skilled product lead. If they were the best product lead in the world and you just gave them all the information about your business, plus they knew everything else about the world, and you said to them, okay, create a new product and sell it. I mean, that's going to be chump change for them. They're just going to be able to go do that without even thinking. Well, that's what Claude did. It just has all of human knowledge. It's then you've put it in a box saying, here's all the context of me and my business and how we think. Take all of that, package it up, and make a digital product out of it. And so it just goes and does that. Now, obviously, I steered it in the direction I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my products that I delivered ended up being quite live workshops and things like that, as opposed to a digital product that people just buy over and over.
Did you ask Claude to give you ideas on what workshops you should do, or you had a clear idea of, do people need to have a clear idea of what the workshop should be? Or
I think so. I think that they need to know what they can deliver. If it came out saying I couldn't deliver it, then that would have been kind of ridiculous. But what I did is I got it to, I had a hypothesis on what I thought people wanted.
Sure.
And then I had it do research across Reddit and threads and social and stuff to find out what are people saying? What are people asking?
Sure.
Does my hypothesis of what people want actually match what they're asking for out in the world?
Yeah.
And because it can do that at light speed, it could just go through and read millions of comments and threads and stuff. And then it could validate my hypothesis and then help me steer it around well, this is the language they're using. So that's the language we should use for the advertising, because that's what they're already saying is in their head. That would take, in the past, agencies literally months to figure out. And you can do that within 4 minutes. It'll come back with a report to say what it was.
Crazy, eh?
Yeah.
So you started with Claude Code, you gave it instructions. you asked it to go to your code, your folder in your computer. But what if the stuff that you give it changes and needs to be updated? Isn't that annoying?
So you don't have to update it. That's the beauty of it. So you got this folder with everything's in, as we said. Where does all that information come from on a daily basis? Well, it comes from your emails, your Teams chats, your transcriptions from meetings and things like that. So our brain has the ability to update itself. So it listens to everything we say, it reads all the emails, it reads all the chats, and it just filters out what it needs. And then updates its context as appropriately. And if it's not sure, it'll just send us a report once a week going, I'm not sure if this is like things that need to be updated. And as you give it feedback, it starts to learn. So it gives you less of those. And I haven't had one of those emails for weeks
now. And this
now.
is a brain in your folder. You just have that brain in your folder.
Well, it's
your computer, like in your normal Mac.
Yeah. Think about it like the way our brain works is we have like your frontal cortex, which is your executive decision making. And then you have the rest of your brain, which is mostly memories and different. There's lots of other functions it does, but there's a lot of memory in there, right? The frontal cortex part of our brain, that's Claude.
Yeah.
So it makes the executive decisions, but all the memories is this folder. So that folder is huge. It's got lots of stuff in it, but it doesn't actually do anything without the prefrontal cortex, the Claude. So the Claude acts as its executive decision maker to use all that knowledge for anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you've done the Claude Code, you've got the folder. The folder has been designed in certain ways, like you've got my vision, my mission, my skills, my team and everything.
Yeah.
And then you go stuck in.
Yeah.
And then it jumped at you with all sorts of ideas. Yep. And so you've obviously been validating the idea.
Yep.
So people need to validate the idea by doing AI will do the search as well for them.
Yep.
Then what did you do afterwards?
So then you had to sell it. This is the thing.
So how do you?
You had to sell it. So you don't need to know.
Sorry. So you validated the course idea.
Yeah.
You feel confident that it's going to work. And so you went in and actually built the course. So you take the time to build the course?
It was just a webinar, like a workshop. Yeah. So it's live. So it's not, I don't have to build anything.
Okay.
It was just going, well, you do this, you talk about this all the time, you know what it is. So why don't we just sell a 2-hour workshop webinar? Okay. So that was that's the top tier of the product.
Okay.
So rather than building a course, I didn't want to build a course because actually.
Why not course?
So courses have a 1% completion rate on average.
Gosh.
And so most people don't actually do them.
Gosh,
and so you make a lot of money doing them, but no one actually gets the benefit out of them.
The results.
And this is not a shot against people who make courses. This is actually more of a shot of people who are buying courses.
Yeah.
Why aren't you completing this thing you just paid for?
Yeah.
But with a webinar or a workshop, like live workshop, I mean, you're there. So you're going to consume the knowledge. You might not do anything with that knowledge necessarily, and lots of people don't, but you'll still progress you further in your journey and where you're going. So, so that's why I didn't want to do a course, because I was like, well, no one's going to use it. And actually it's not very good for like repeat customers or like referrals and things like that. And then, in classic like digital product world, you have product ladders. So people come to a webinar, you might say get 100 people to a webinar, 10% of them buy the next version of the product, and then 10% of those people will buy the next iteration. So let's say our social workshop that we did on social TV show concepts that we teach, how to develop a social series, essentially. We did a 2-hour webinar on that. The product ladder for that was a session with us for an hour to help you refine your own one. Mm-hmm. And then obviously the main product ladder of that is come work with us as an agency. We'll go produce it for you.
Oh, I see.
And so you'll get a certain amount of people go through that funnel. So the idea is how many people can get in the webinar, and then you'll get these higher ticket price items. And that's just like classic product ladder stuff. I don't know that necessarily. I understand the concept of it, but Claude knows it really well. So Claude understood like this is how you should structure that.
Oh, I see.
This is what we should do. So that, I guess everything that we're going through here and how to get to this point, a lot of people will be listening thinking, well, how do I do all of that? Like, how did you know to do that? I didn't know how to do all of this. This is, I guess, the point is that I just said, I want to do this thing. Help me figure it out. There's thousands, if not millions of people doing this around the world. Tell me how to do it. I'm a service-based business. I don't know any of this. Tell me how to create an e-commerce store, essentially, right? Once we figured out, it told me and it did the research and it did everything. It gave me suggestions. I said, yep, I'm very happy and confident doing like a 2-hour workshop with people. And then anyway, so we built out this product ladder. It did most of it based on all our context. It built out what that was going to look like.
Were you happy with it?
Yeah. I mean, it was great. Like it was perfect because it understood.
Yeah.
it understood that I do a lot of podcasts. I do a lot of speaking opportunities. So it's like, well, you can sit there and talk on these topics for hours if you want to. So that's fine. And then this product, so the social series product as an example, just so people have context, is that we charge people or businesses a minimum of $20,000 to do a social series for their brand, just developing the idea.
What's a social series?
So like think about if you watch any of like sort of the bigger creators or content creators or businesses out there doing well on social, they'll have like essentially a social TV show. Like it'll be a repeating series that happens on social over and over. Podcast clips is an example of one.
Oh, I see.
All right, that's an example of one. Or Vox Pops, out in the street interviews, things like that.
Yeah.
It's a series that you just continually run on social. It's how social works best, by creating a simple series. We call it easily repeatable content series or a social TV series. So we'll charge a minimum of 20 grand, depending on the organization and how extravagant it's going to be to just develop that as an agency. But 90% of the work we do there, AI can do it. The reason that we can charge the 20 grand is that last 10%, which is our like brains doing the final piece. But for a lot of small businesses, that 90% is pretty good, but they can't do it with AI because they don't know what to ask it. They don't have all the context that we have, that our brain has. So what we created was a solution that our AI brain can take all the information about their business and create 3 options for them. And we can do that for $900. So for $900, we can create 3 really good series, and then we spend an hour with them on a call to like workshop it with them.
Oh, I see.
And so that $900 for these small businesses is like something they can afford.
Yeah.
And it delivers a really good outcome.
Yeah.
But for us, it's not the 4 weeks of work that we would have had to put into a normal series.
Yeah.
Now, is it as good as a normal series that we do? No, of course not. But you're paying $900, not $20,000.
Yeah, of course.
So, you get what you pay for, kind of thing. But it's still very good. It's 90% of the way there.
So what do you do in the 2 hours?
With them?
Yeah.
We just literally work. Oh, in the workshop or in the...
Well, actually, I'm keen to understand the workshop. Like, how do you structure it? Because, if you're saying I made 95K from the workshop must have been really cool.
Yeah, so the workshop is...
And actually, what elements of the workshop, so people understand, is winning or good?
The only thing you have to do in a really good workshop is transform thinking. That's all you have to do. You don't teach anyone. No one's going to learn anything in a workshop.
It's actually quite true because a lot of people come in with a lot of blocks.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So you can teach them all you want, but they're not going to do anything if you don't transform their thinking. So actually workshops aren't designed. People who design a workshop around teaching skills in a virtual environment, at least anyway, in a short window of 2 hours, you're not going to be able to like teach them a skill at scale. Wow. You could teach one person a skill in 2 hours.
Yeah.
But trying to teach 300 people on a webinar the same skill is just impossible to do. So what you're actually trying to do is transform their thinking about social media or whatever the topic is. And so our webinars, we have 4 webinars. We have a social TV show series, AI brain series, that how we actually set up this brain, meta ads one, and a newsletter one. And we're not actually teaching how to make a newsletter or how to make a social TV show. We'll teach you the principles of it. Yeah. But we're actually trying to transform your thinking about social, because a lot of people go into social going like, what? Social's got a real easy thing for us to solve for. Most people go to social think, I don't have any ideas for content. I need some ideas for content. I can't think of ideas. I'm running out of ideas. That's always a common narrative that people have. And we're trying to say you only need one good idea and then you repeat it forever. Right. That's actually how the best social campaigns work. You create one idea, you perfect it, you put a lot of effort into that, put a month into that one idea.
Can you just give us like side note example of an idea and then you just repeat it and then we can carry on with.
So like on our Instagram as the attention seeker, our previous idea like that we ran out, we do change our ideas a lot, but it actually hurts us, but we change it because we experiment on our channels rather than our clients. But our last series was Joni, who was the face of our, used to be our internal content creator. She used to walk up to me, camera facing her, and she'd ask me a really annoying question. Like she'd say like she's rage baiting me, and then she'd turn the camera on and I would go off at her. I'd get angry. I'd play the grumpy boss. Okay. And it would just be a back and forth dialogue between the two of us for about 45 seconds to 2 minutes. Okay. And then we'd end it. And every day she'd put a new one out, and it'd be day X of rage baiting my boss. So that was the series.
So it's the same setup, same context, and then it's but different context.
Yeah, different question.
Content, like different question, different sense of anger.
So the question is the only thing that technically changes.
Okay.
Obviously, my response to that question is fueled by that question, but the whole format, everything's the same.
If today's chat has you thinking about how your business needs to deploy software or AI to scale revenue and save time, but your team lacks the technical know-how, AcademyEx can bridge that gap for you. Now, they've launched a new 12-week training program that is focused entirely on hands-on AI software development. This isn't a shallow prompt engineering workshop. You take a real business concept and carry it from a rough idea through a live working application or tool. You will learn to use modern tools like AI coding assistants, handle real design requirements, and experience vibe coding to deploy a working build. It is a genuine development curriculum designed for modern business leaders. So scan the QR code on the screen or hit the link in the description to learn more about this program. And don't delay because applications close the 10th of September. And so you guys change that stuff to test it, but for your clients you say don't change it, stick around because it works.
Yeah.
Why does it work? Why does it work when you stick around with the same idea?
The same reason that every successful TV show, radio segment, podcast all does the same thing forever, because like familiarity is the thing that matters in content. Like the Friends TV show didn't change its format for the 12 years or whatever it ran for. You don't change it once you've got a winning formula. Like you double down on it.
Gotcha.
And obviously styles and things change over time. Like obviously the Friends is still very good show, but like you would never make Friends again today. Like the world's moved past of how that show was designed. And you see that in TV a lot, right? But the show itself that was a very long time that it ran for, right? When you think about it, TikTok hasn't even been around as long as Friends ran, if you think about it. So for most businesses, you're not thinking at the right time scale. You don't need to change within that 10-year scale because people like familiarity. They like knowing that, last time I watched this, it was really funny. I'm going to watch it again. This is a new episode.
Yeah.
That's what they're going, right? That's what they want.
Gotcha.
So that's why you have it, because then I don't have to teach you every time who the characters are, who the setting is, who we are as a business, all those tropes that we know of the characters on Friends. They don't have to do an intro to who Ross is. I know who Ross is. I've got familiar with him. I know who he is. So the same thing happens. They know who Joni was. They know who her boss was. They know that they're at work, that we're a social agency and doing all the things. So they build familiarity. And like you said, when we first met, like that parasocial relationship comes into play there.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to have to like do a lot of heavy lifting every single video to try to get people up to speed. What we want to be able to do is have it so simple that they start to know us. Once that happens, we can layer other things on top. You can do other videos that do the selling and do all the other parts that your business needs. But initially, you need to establish this foundation of like, do you know who we are? This is who we are. This is what we talk about. This is our tone of voice. And then we layer the rest of the social strategy on top. But for most small businesses, they're trying to do all the stuff on top. But no one knows who they are, cares about them, even wants to watch their content. So for us, that's what we're trying to establish.
Okay, so that's the idea.
Yeah.
You need to like play around with ideas until one sticks and then just stick to that? Or do you, obviously, because if you just go with one idea, you can't really.
If you develop the idea right from the beginning, which we go into in our webinars and stuff of like, how do you tell a good story?
Yeah.
If you're telling a good story, you don't need lots of ideas. Get a very good story, figure it out, and then tell it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But what I've just gone through in that social thing, every single person listening who wants to do something like this, they have that in their world. Accountants can talk to their world to that level as well. And so everyone who has their expert knowledge, their domain of excellence, they can look at that and go, how can I turn this into something more tangible, something that I can get Claude to help me with that I don't currently know how to do? That's what all we did. That stuff I just talked about social, that's what we do day in, day out, every day as a service. And that context is all sitting inside that brain now. It knows that as well. Cool,
because then let's go back to the workshop where you were talking about this changing of transformational mindset.
Yeah.
And so, because you were saying the main reason why people don't do content is don't know what to say. Yeah. So you talked about the repeatable idea.
Yeah.
So let's go back into that and then carry on with like the style of the workshop.
So the style of the workshop is literally it's just me. There's a way to tell people something that helps them actually make a change in the way they're thinking. And it's based on a guy called, he owns a YouTube channel called Veritasium. His name's Derek, and he did a thesis as part of his PhD around science communication. Mm-hmm. And the theory is that if you present people a misconception that they have and get them to agree that they have this misconception, they don't know it's a misconception. You just state the fact. He uses an example of the Earth and the Moon. So he holds a basketball and a tennis ball, and they're relatively the same size in relative to the Earth and the Moon. And so he gives it to him. He's like, okay, how far apart do these need to be for you to like in the same scale, right? And so people are like, oh, maybe like here or whatever, and they're trying to find the distance between the Earth and the Moon. And then so that you establish the truth that we hold inside our head with them, right? And so that's what you do at the start of a workshop. And the second part is you explain why they have that thought. So in his example, we said, well, you think it's about here because every picture of Earth and Moon you see them in the same frame. And you see them in together, so it makes sense. And so you establish why. And then you go, okay, well, actually, here's the truth. And so the truth of it is, if you got a basketball and tennis ball, if I'm holding the basketball, the tennis ball's probably at your fence line down there. That's how far away the moon is from the Earth.
Okay.
But people don't think that because they often see them in the same picture.
Okay.
But you see them in the same picture because, of course you do, because you can't have a picture this big, right?
Sure.
And so you tell them the truth, or this is it. And then now once they've figured that out and they're like, oh, damn, okay, that's the truth. Now you can explain what you can do with that truth. Now in his example, he then expands it out into like the size of the universe and all the other things. In my example, it's you're here because you're lost. Like you think you need lots of ideas, you need a social strategy, you need all the stuff that you hear everywhere. And then I say like, you think that because you've seen all this online, you've seen people like talk about like hooks and all the different hooks that you need and all this sort of stuff. But the truth of it is these creators over here, all the biggest ones that you know, they're all doing the same thing every single day. So we all think we need this, but all the best creators in the world need to change all the time. And because of that, we can go and do this. Yeah, so like exactly that, right? Like, so we do that same process and then we go, okay, so now that you're armed with this information that like the best creators in the world do this thing, don't do what you're thinking, which is create new ideas every single piece of content. Yeah. They do the same idea every time. Okay, now we're armed with that information, what can we do? So every workshop we do is based on that structure.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And it knew, like our brain knew that I knew that because it had listened to me do workshops with clients and stuff before. So it actually like, by analyzing everything, it's like, okay, you're confident to do this. Let's just do those. And
did the AI give you that idea of telling them to transform their thinking in the workshop?
Nah. I already it learned that from the talks that I've already done. The way that you do things. Yeah, I do. I've done lots of workshops in the past and talks and conversations. So,
this is your human experience, your expertise that plays a role.
Yeah.
You can't rely heavily 100% on Claude to make everything for you.
Well, you're not wanting it to, because otherwise like your product isn't differentiated. Like it isn't anything special. Like if you're going to create something new with your expertise, the way I did, there's lots of ways to use Claude to make money, but if you're going to do it the way I did, of course you want it to use your special source. Yeah. Because there's other people have different convictions around content. There's other people who think differently to me who are also successful at content. This is the way I think of it. There's also people who think there's other ways of teaching content too, or teaching workshops. Like my way is not the only way to teach it. So it's taking what I think is best and what I'm going to be best at delivering and then building around that because of the context I gave it.
And how did you get people to come on the workshop?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's where it gets to selling, right? So to sell low ticket items is very different to selling service-based business like we are. So I don't know how to do that. Yeah. So it's not my world at all to sell $150 things. You know, we're used to selling $150,000 stuff. So for a $150 ticket item, I had to say, like, well, how do people do this? Like, what do I need? I have no idea. I don't have the tech stack. I don't have the systems in place. I have nothing. Yeah. So go find me best in class way to do this. And then it did.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you asked Claude again.
I just did it. And
did you ask the Claude Code system?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Everything goes in the Claude Code system because you want that context to stay. Like
and the learning.
You want that learning. You want it to feed your brain and you want it to use your brain also as it determines things, right? Like, where you're based in the world also matters. Like there's different things that happen. It'll solve a problem different for someone in New Zealand than it will in the US because of what is available.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, it taught us about it didn't teach us, but it told us how to go and like set up Stripe links for people to pay through properly, set up Klaviyo to do email automations. It's like set up a meta ads bot to run meta ads, you know, all these sorts of things that we don't do as a company. It figured out how to do all of them. So then it could run all our ads for us. It could tell us, hey, you've got this product, you need to now make ads for it as well. So you've got lots of good organic content, but you also need some sales ads. So here's the scripts, go make them.
I see.
You know, and so it would give me a script. I'd put it on my phone. I've got the edits app that has a teleprompter, and I just go record them all really quickly, give it back to it. It would load them up into Meta and run my ads for us. It suggested like budgets that we should spend and targets that we should try to hit. It ran email campaigns. Like it did everything. You have to have some trust in that. Like if you don't know, but it does.
Yeah.
You got to have some trust in
Was
it.
it accurate?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Did you fully trust it with the strategy of how you're going to sell this?
Yeah.
And
I mean, we've done so. The video,
it's a bit, you know, yeah, because you guys do you do meta ads as well?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. We only do organic content. Yeah.
So you don't spend any money on ads.
The ads that you've been seeing is the first time we've ever run ads for ourselves.
Oh, really?
The only other ads we run are for our newsletter, and they were set up 2 years ago, and they've just run forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so those ones are just quite passive. There's like they run globally.
Okay.
So these
crazy.
Yeah, this particular thing.
Yeah.
Why would I fight it?
Yeah.
Like it knows. Like I don't know. And it's been successful. Like the video you saw of $95,000. I mean, that's at $500,000 now. We've done $500,000 in 11 weeks.
And so you charge people for this workshop?
Yeah, $150.
Okay, and people pay that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So of that $500,000, probably $300K has come from the webinars, the top of the funnel.
Yeah.
So the 4 webinars are our top of funnel purchases of the product ladder, if you think about it.
Yeah.
So that's how we get people through. That's the ads are only
Top of
selling
funnel,
that.
yeah.
They're only selling the webinar. Everything else that sells, all the other products come from people who came to the webinar.
Who attend, yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so you were talking about, is it 10% of those people?
Yeah, roughly, give or take. Yep.
Want to take on the next step.
Yep.
And what do people say about these workshops? How have you, what do they say? And then how have you felt about these workshops that you've been doing?
They've been awesome. The feedback's been amazing. Like, when you transform someone's thinking, you unlock a whole world of possibility for them. When you're stuck in a way of thinking, you don't know how to get through a roadblock. $150 is a tiny amount of money to pay, right? Like people pay me $2,000 to $5,000 just to sit in the room with me to get them through this block one-on-one.
Yeah.
So to have me do that with you for $150, like you're like, this is a bargain.
It's a real deal. So why are you doing it for such a low cost?
Because like the last webinar, we had 500 people on it.
Okay.
So I did $75,000 in 2 hours.
Okay.
So that's the trick. So I could sell one person $2,000 or $5,000 for a couple hours.
Yeah. It's actually good, eh?
But yeah, or I could do $75,000 at the same time.
Why not? Yeah.
So that's kind of how we think about it. It's like, and that's the difference between like low, mid, and high ticket pricing of stuff. Low ticket, you have to do volume. You know, like the biggest companies in the world do low ticket stuff. Well, it's not entirely true, but a lot of them do. And then that mid range stuff is probably it's different. You can still do high volume. Actually, the biggest companies will do mid stuff like Apple.
Maybe. Can you give me an example?
Apple. Like I was selling an iPhone for $2,000. It's not a high ticket item price.
Mid level.
It's mid level.
Yeah.
It's still quite a lot of money, but it's not nothing. It's not it's not $100,000.
They do have low ticket because they've got the cloud stuff.
Yeah,
but that doesn't come in at the start.
Yeah,
you don't need the cloud. You need the
device first.
And then,
They get you in with the iPhone and then hook you in.
They continue to get you paid for little stuff, but that compounds.
Yeah, that compounds. I mean, that's definitely where all their money comes from, is the services. That's their biggest part of their business now. Yeah. But you only get that because they built such a good product at the start to get you in.
Yeah.
And then high ticket stuff is, the $100,000, $500,000, $1 million sort of stuff. You know, in our agency, we might have 30 or 40 clients max at any given time. But they're all playing, in 6-figure retainers. So there's that level of it. And then you got down here, you got like 500 people on one webinar. So they're all different. So you charge appropriately for the volume of work that you're trying to do. Yeah. For these guys, it's like $150. Again, 500 people on the webinar. I'm not going to say no to that. Like that webinar is the same amount of money as our biggest retainer that we have. And that retainer is a month worth of work with like 8 people working on it. And this was me for 2 hours.
Do you think you were able to get that result because of your background and
100%.
experience,
Yeah,
or like for someone who's fresh?
No way.
Yeah.
Nah, but you don't need 95,000 either in 1 week. You know what I mean? Like if you're fresh and you're just starting, and you expect that you're going to do 500,000 in 3 months, like I did, well, you don't you don't have the brand, but also you don't have the overheads and expenses. You don't need 500,000. Like of that $500,000, like you think what my wage bill is. Like, so it's all relative, right? Like,
exactly.
You know, for Nike, it's like $500,000. Gosh, we're going to lose money. Like they'd hate it.
Yeah.
That'd be a terrible result. For me, it's amazing. For small people, it's just out of reach. But you don't need it either. If you did 200 grand as someone just starting out over the course of a year, I mean, you're in the 1% of earners in New Zealand all of a sudden.
Can we just focus on the people who have businesses but haven't done webinars and may not have the social, following and awareness? And I did have a question about the ads. You did follow the instructions with Claude, but where did it tell you to, everyone is different because everyone has a different business, but for you, what happened for you guys? How many platforms? How long did you have to go do the ads for? And
so we only run ads on Meta. We don't Facebook and Instagram. We don't run them anywhere else.
You don't do LinkedIn? No,
we don't do LinkedIn ads. Not for a low ticket item. LinkedIn ads are designed for enterprise level contracts. They're very expensive for a low ticket item. I would never run them on there. LinkedIn doesn't really want you to run them on there. It's not really what they're for.
Oh, okay.
They're for like a enterprise SaaS platform who's going to get $1 million out of you or $100,000 out of you. Okay. So we run them on Instagram and Meta. Meta's ad platform, along with Google, are just so advanced. Like, it is their job to ensure that they sell your product at a great rate that you'll keep giving them money, right? So, like, in May, we spent $90,000 with them. Like, they want to sell our product.
Wow.
So they're going to do everything in their power to keep selling that at a great rate. And they've built such a sophisticated platform. The problem that most businesses have is that they don't spend enough. They don't give it enough money to do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
And I knew that it needed it. So, we might spend $5,000 a day doing ads.
So how much did you spend on the workshop a day?
Well, in May we spent
a
90.
day?
It's at one point for a little bit when you do the peaks, because you kind of change it depending on where it is. But
average.
We spent about 90 grand this month.
For the
for May. Just for May. Yeah, for all our ads that we run for all of those products. Yeah, about $90,000.
Because you don't do just one workshop, you do multiple.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's across all of them. But, you got to think, like, most businesses in New Zealand wouldn't risk 90 grand.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is that people in New Zealand especially, or even like globally actually, they don't think of it logically. They think of it emotionally. They're looking at this going, oh, that's a lot of money. It's like, yeah, but I'm getting back $3 for every dollar I give it. Why wouldn't I can't give it money fast enough.
I was just going to say, what's the margin for the money you spend on your ad and then
it's a 3-to-1 return.
Oh, is it?
For us at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And that's pretty low. A lot of I was talking to a client yesterday, their current return is 6-to-1.
Oh, okay.
But they sell a physical product.
Yep.
And so their physical product has additional expense to it. Ours only has the 2 hour, like my time for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with 3-to-1. Like, legitimately, like if I said to you right now, like, hey, give me $1, I'll give you $3. And for every dollar you give me, I'll give you another $3. How many dollars are you going to give me?
As much as I can.
Exactly. But you know what most businesses do when it comes to Meta?
Yeah.
I just put another $100 in.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll put up as much as I can, but you can't just put 100 grand in because it won't work like that. That's not how the system works. You got to slowly ramp it up.
Oh, okay. And all of that stuff was given to you by Claude.
Yeah. I understand that that's how ad platforms work. Okay. Like, I'm not. I understand. Yeah, I understand how the math works. Like I'm clued in enough to understand the principle of how ads work. But even if you didn't, you just ask it and it would tell you exactly what I know. What I know isn't because I'm smart. It's because I probably Googled it once. And
you are smart.
Yeah, but what I mean is I didn't just appear that knowledge in my head. Like, I obviously just read it off Google. I didn't do it through experience is what I'm saying, where a lot of people think you need it from. I just I can't remember when, but I probably just Googled it once going, how do these ads platforms work? And so what I'd say to most people who are trying to do this and scale this, if you're a business owner and you found a product and you believe in it and it is something good and you've got all the branding right, you've got all the messaging right, which again, Claude can do for you. And you validated your idea too. That's why I did the validation, because a lot of business owners get blinded by what they think they do is good.
Yeah.
And like no one else cares. So I had to validate it. But then, it started to sell. So you have to start off small with your ads. You're not just going to start your ad campaign at 10 grand a day, because that's also naive and stupid. So we started at $500 a day when we first did it, right? And then just every time we got validation that we had it right, Claude just continued to put it. I wasn't going to just let Claude go and throw 20 grand on it daily. But I was okay with 500 a day, which is still a lot of money. I tell you right now, if you're a small business listening to this, you'd probably go to an ad agency and say, we could probably put $1,500 a month on. And I'd done that in 3 days. And so the reason why I did $500 a day is that I could find out in 3 days, was this enough? And if not, I'll just kill it, rather than waiting a whole month to try to figure it out.
Okay.
I'll be able to validate in 3 days. If it doesn't work, I'm going to know in 3 days rather than a month.
Why would you wait for a whole month?
Exactly right. Why would you?
So is that a bad advice?
To wait for a whole month.
And spend $1,500.
It's stupid.
Really?
Like, why would you do it? Just do it fast. Because if you can legitimately get this ratio of like 3 to 1 spend, why would you not do it? Now, it's different for people who are wanting leads, right? Because if you're getting a direct sale on the platform, sure, go for it. But if you're getting a lead, which then you have to nurture to get a sale, you might do it slower because you're not sure yet if those leads are the right leads. I know straight away that I got that person's money.
How can you make sure you are targeting the right people?
You don't need to anymore.
Just everything is pretty automatic.
Like the best case at the moment with Meta, and this is what Claude told us, but also when you do the research, it's true. You just tell Meta, here's my creative, here's my content, here's how much money I want, find the people.
Because in your Claude Code brain, you have connected to Meta as well?
Yeah. But like a lot of people, like you used to go to ad agencies and they would have really good idea around how to target stuff and do that. That's not how you do it anymore.
No.
The algorithm inside, the AI inside of Meta is very smart now. And you just tell it, here's how much money, here's my creative, and here's the thing I want to measure the campaign on. So for us, it was sales. And let it go.
Hello, thanks for watching this video. Quick note, have you subscribed? Over 90% of people who are watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or on Apple are not subscribed or following. Please do so now. It's so simple. The button will be around the screen somewhere. You either hit subscribe or hit the follow button or leave me a review. It will help me so much, helps me grow as a channel and support my work. So I really appreciate it. Okay. Back to the episode. Can't you just sell your workshop organically with organic content, since this is your motto?
You can, and I did, and we sold lots of it organically.
Yeah.
But my motto is designed for, there is, in marketing, there is a 50-50 split is the ideal split for brand versus performance or advertising. When you're a service-based business, most of that advertising that you're doing is in-person conversations. You're having conversations with people. So I'll go to networking events. I'll people come in for have a coffee with me or referrals or whatever. That's sales activity. And then the other 50% is the brand stuff that we do with the content and everything. And that content stuff drives more of this in-person sales activation.
Okay.
But when you sell a small ticket item product, I'm not going to talk to every one of those people. I can't talk to 500 people. That's outrageous, right? So the better way to do it then is to run an ad as your sales activity.
Oh, I see. So the low ticket needs ads. The higher ticket needs the organic?
Like no one's buying a $500,000 social media campaign off an ad. There's no way.
Oh, really?
Oh, no way. Not even close. Like you might get a lead for one, but no one's buying it because of the ad. You might have got the conversation started, but you're never getting the sale from that. Like no one does that.
So how do you get the sale with a 500K?
Well, you have to.
Well, maybe not have 500K. Okay, people are listening. Maybe.
But like a high ticket item,
like 10K.
Yeah, a high ticket item like that. No.
How do you sell a 10K?
Well, you have to do it in person, right? You have to like meet them.
Yeah.
You have to understand their problem. What are they trying to solve and have a relationship? I mean, that's classic like sort of B2B level sales. How to do that? Gosh.
Yeah, because you still have to do one-on-one for 10K, one-on-one. Like it's just not helpful. How can you mass, apart from having a 1 day in person, let me tell you how I do this, like some of the programs that I know who do that and they get a lot of sales through that. But if you're not that level yet and you can't command a room, you know, not in that space yet. How do you sell 10K with organic or with relationships?
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to sell a $10,000 product and you don't have any brand or equity with it, then the only possible way you're going to do that is by meeting someone in person and convincing them that this problem that they have, your solution's right.
AKA ask them a lot of good questions.
Yeah, or just most sales in the B2B world comes through trust, not through actually solving the problem or whatever. It's just, and so asking a lot of questions actually is enabling that person to have trust in you. That's really what it is.
That's true, yeah.
And so that's a whole podcast on how to sell. And I'm definitely not the best person to talk about that. I'm obviously have been quite successful in selling. It's obviously how we sell the agency, but you have to understand if you're starting this and you're trying to use Claude to sell, let's try to be Tony Robbins. I mean, that's not going to happen, is it? I can't do that.
Yeah.
I couldn't do what Tony Robbins does. I don't have the decades of brand that he has. He also has a very, very well-oiled sales machine. You become a lead in his system and his funnel, and you are getting hounded on the phone until you buy a ticket.
Really?
They're very good at their sales job. And so you don't just buy a ticket to one of his things just straight online. Some people do, obviously, because they've been before.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nurturing. There's a lot of content. You've been watching stuff for years. People call you. They sell to you. And so high ticket items takes longer for the sales process. Obviously, a smaller ticket item, $150 is still, it's still a bit of money there. So maybe a week groceries. But for a lot of people, it's a far easier decision to be made. It's far easier to spend $150, obviously, than $10,000. So the decision-making process is a lot easier to be done. And you can sell it through ads. And so, I mean,
were you testing the price, or were you just it's 150?
We did a bit of... I think pricing is probably one of those
because pricing is
skill sets that I know.
It's a whole another
discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something that I've had a lot of experience in my hospitality days. Pricing psychology is a huge thing, and that Claude can probably figure it out for you. It can actually, it can go out and map out, do market research, find out what other people are charging and stuff. Of course, it can also, there's a lot of psychology around what number is acceptable by people.
Yeah.
$150 20 years ago would never have sold.
Yeah.
But $150 today is very easy to sell. You can, if you take 4 people for lunch at McDonald's, you'll spend over $100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's right. It's McDonald's is the lowest.
So we first sold some webinars at $79 just to see how it goes. And then we tried 2. We just tested 2, $79, $149. And there was actually more uptick at the $149. So there was the positioning of the $79 probably wasn't valuable enough for people.
It felt like it was too low.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a lot of value.
Yeah.
Is it true that the attention economy is now gone and more of a trust economy? Social media. I mean, I'm hearing a lot of creators on YouTube and experts saying, why waste your time on social media? Do long form things like YouTube and you get better leads. Is that true?
I mean, yeah and no. I mean, first of all, long form is social media and YouTube is social media. To think it's not means that you don't understand the platform properly.
No, but it's longer form and there's better quality.
But it's still
conversion.
social media. It's definitely still social media. Media where there's a social interaction, there's a two-way conversation that can happen is social media. And you treat it differently, right? If you're making something for Netflix, you're going to make it differently than what you're going to make for YouTube because of the social interaction that happens on YouTube. Whereas on Netflix, you don't have that same dialogue with people.
Yeah.
So it might be long form, but it doesn't change the social aspect of it. When people talk about trust economy as opposed to attention economy, all they're really saying is if you want to make lots of money from your knowledge, then it's best to be trust. But they're doing it. It's what they're trying to say to you there is it's a really good sales technique. That's what they're doing, which isn't to discredit them because they're somewhat right. But it's you remember that when I taught you this is what you're thinking about ideas or the moon and the earth. They're kind of presenting the same thing. You've seen all these people out there doing clickbait stuff, doing stupid Twitch streaming and all these silly things that people do. These people aren't. This isn't how you make money. Yeah. But what you actually do is you build this long form, build audiences, build trust. We're presenting you this information that you think is the way, and we're going to present you an opposite way. And that's all they've done. They've just gone here to here. Now, they're not wrong in their presenting. It's just one way of doing it. Because I tell you right now, Carby Lame, who's the biggest creator on TikTok, 160 million followers, He just did a deal recently for $900 million US for half of his brand. I mean, there's no trust in him in terms of a trust economy, but he's making way more than any of the trust economy creators, right?
Right.
So the idea is there isn't one answer. Not all brands operate the same way. If you're trying to teach knowledge, yeah, of course, it doesn't make sense to just do nothing but silly. If you're only going to do stupid humor style stuff, you're not going to sell a course on advanced data analytics.
No, you're not going to do a YouTube.
No, it's going to be a different thing, right?
Yeah.
But then if you are someone who's trying to sell a course or like a school community or something like that, of course, like you want to have some trust in that. But you don't just have to do long form. A lot of people, like YouTube is better for sure. You holding people's attention for could be an hour, right?
I mean, even podcasts, why someone thinking do I invest in content on social media as organic, or do I go and do my own podcast? Yeah. Like, how would they make that decision?
Wow.
Why would they make the organic
time and
decision?
Resources.
Yeah, like prioritizing what's gonna
time and resources, right? Like, what can you do? Like, there is no right answer. They're all valid.
Exactly. Yeah, they're all kind of good. Yeah. But what's going to work best?
Well, what's going to work best is like what they're willing to put the time and money into. Like there's no other way around it. Like, everyone wants a hack to get to the thing, but it's not how it works. Like, making a podcast can, it might take you 6 years to get any money out of it. Like, it takes ages. Like, you think about like Luke Kimmy's with his one of To Keep the Change. Like, we used to help him record a lot of his. He's 900 episodes in now, and he's only just starting to get monetized in the last year, and at a decent rate anyway. And that's kind of how it is in the podcast world. Like, people look at like Joe Rogan and took out massive years, but he's been in from day one. Like, he was the OG.
And he has the brand.
Yeah, he also had the brand going into it as well, but it's still his podcast itself with the brand going in as who he was.
But there are people who
still took ages.
There are a lot of people who start a podcast and get really good results really quickly.
Yeah, there are people. I wouldn't say that
it's not I wouldn't say to build a pod is the first go. But need to discern.
Yeah, the people who build a podcast really quickly, they've not come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They've not come out of nowhere. Something else has happened.
Like, for me, I'm a journalist, so I understand an aspect of the podcast really well. Like the content, the guests, the questions, the entertaining part, the engaging part. But it may be like getting sponsors on board. That's not my area of expertise. So I had to learn that.
Yeah, exactly, right. And so there's a lot of stuff that comes into it. And I think that if people are out there trying to figure out all of this work, this is why the AI brain thing I'm talking about is so good. Because if you've just got all your context and what you're good at, and you talk to it and you ask it to help develop your strategy, it knows all the strategies. It knows them better than I do. It knows all of them. But you've got your own preferences, your own amount of resources that you can put into it, time, money, whatever it might be. And so you can work with it in a dialogue back and forth to figure it out. Now, is it going to be as good as if you went to a service provider to do it? No, of course not.
Yeah.
Like, of course not. There's no way. Like, I'm going to be able to beat AI at its game every time when it comes to organic social. But I'm going to charge you like 10,000 more percent than what it's going to charge you. 10,000 times more. Like, it'll charge you like $30 for the month subscription or whatever it is, and I'm going to charge you $30,000. So of course you're going to get relativistic results back from it. So you have to take a grain of salt. I know that if I went to a company who could have set up my marketing automation and my ad buying and everything, I would have got better results. I might have done $1.5 million.
Okay.
Right. But I didn't know if it was going to work, and I wanted to trial it. And also I'm a tighter, so I wanted to figure it out for myself as well. But I'm definitely right now thinking, okay, I might go get an ad agency, take this over now. Now that we've validated it, I'll let someone else take care of this.
So your suggestion is, if someone listening thinking, oh, I don't know how to do Claude, I don't know how to do Claude Code, how do you do this brain thing? What's your advice for these people? Do they need to get in and do it themselves and had to take the time to learn, or maybe get like a developer to do it, and maybe a social agency?
Again,
or like
always the conversation is time and money. always.
Yeah.
How much time or money can you put towards this? If you don't have the money to put towards it, you're going to have to put the time.
Okay.
And I didn't want to put the money towards it when I started. And also I enjoy it. I enjoy, like, I'm a real technophile. So like I love playing in these worlds.
DIY. You like to do
Yeah.
DIY?
Not necessarily DIY, but it's not the DIY that I like.
Because you could afford to give someone to do it for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely could
But you
afford
chose
some.
not to.
Yeah, I enjoy playing with technology.
You want to
Yeah,
learn.
I enjoy. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got 2 phones. I've got 6
Why
computers.
do you have 2 phones?
Because one's a camera.
Oh,
Yeah, one's a camera. I mean, we make content, so
of course.
I have one for camera and one that I like and that I
Okay.
actually use. But like, I do like technology. Like I'm someone who likes it. So when I first started it, I want to play. I had lots of people reach out in the beginning of this journey going,
Yeah.
hey, I do this. Can I help you? You know, blah, blah, blah. I've seen what you're doing, but I can help you do it faster. And I said, and I used to say to them, like, why would I pay you money to take this fun away from me?
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm really enjoying this. It's not that I'm doing this because it's a burden. Like, I really enjoyed it. So for other people listening, my advice would be, it's time or money. If you want the time, if the time's more important to you, then spend the money to do it. That's the only reason you use service providers. Service providers aren't any more talented than anyone else. They've just dedicated their profession to doing something.
Yeah.
And they've spent a lot of time, and now they can charge that out now. So you can either go and figure out how to make a website yourself, or you can just pay these guys and they're going to do it way faster.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to do it better as well
Yeah.
in that same amount of time. And so it's the same thing. Like the reason people come to our AI webinar is that in 2 hours plus a little bit of time afterwards, once they give you the downloads, you can set up what took me 3 months in a day.
Okay.
You know, and so people pay us $150 for that, right?
Yeah.
That's a tiny price to pay for what took me 3 months to figure out. And so, I mean, look, it's not going to be the same level as what mine is now and after 3 months, but that concept of having that context folder literally took me months to figure out how that worked, because I didn't know, I just figured it out on my own.
Okay.
And so for people, you can either just go figure it out for yourself.
Yeah.
You can watch a YouTube clip. There's YouTube clips now everywhere about
Heaps,
this.
Yeah.
The reason that you're coming to me, the reason people come to my offering is because he's a real business owner actually implementing this in his business. That's why everyone who comes on are mostly business owners. The guys on YouTube are usually like, they're AI bros, and they're good. Don't get me wrong, they're like real smart. They all know their stuff, and I've watched their videos since figuring this stuff out. But they're doing it going, like they're not doing it as part of another wider business. And so a lot of business owners are like, okay, that's all cool. Those boys over there doing what they're doing. And I say boys because most of them are, to be fair. There's these young guys in their 20s and they're real smart. This is not me discrediting them. They're awesome. These guys are doing cool stuff.
Yeah.
But they're these young guys without like real experience in business. And so a lot of people come to mind are like, you know, guys in their 30s, 40s, and then they've got the experience from it. Or they've seen me with the experience. So then they're wanting to see how I've done it.
How do you build a business with no ad budget? Because this is the claim that you have made, and I mean you've said you can talk about this. You can talk about this yourself, but you know, you've led an organic social agency. You've built brands through content, not paid ads, and $10 million made through LinkedIn. LinkedIn, but you haven't mentioned Instagram or other channels. And 1.4 million followers, 1.2 billion organic views with no paid advertising. That is your go-to. Yeah,
little selling proposition.
Yeah.
Well, look, as I said before, there's brand and there's performance when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
And brand doesn't necessarily need spin behind it anymore, because the platforms will push your content if it's good.
Okay.
So in the old world, before you had platforms that would push content if it's good, you know, because that hasn't been around forever, you would have to pay distributors to get your brand content out to the world. So run ads or what branded content or whatever, and you have to push out billboards, all sorts of stuff, radio. And that's how the media industry's worked forever, right? Like the media industry exists to produce content so that in between it, they can sell these brand ads for people, right? And we all know that that's how that world works. On social, though, what they've developed is as the platforms evolve, they realize actually the best way to keep people hooked on our platforms is to serve them content they enjoy. So we're just going to, if people make content that people enjoy, we'll serve it to them. And so our job as an organic social agency is to create that type of content that people actually want to watch, but from a business lens, which not many people do. And so we've found quite a good niche in that space. So the way that we've been able to build our business without having to spend money on ads up until recently with the new product is that, one, we sell a high ticket item in our agency, right? And most people paying us like a 6 figures over a course of a year. So we don't need hundreds of sales every week. We can get one a month and we're stoked. And so we're able to just create content that people want to consume. And then over time, they build this parasocial relationship with us. And then when it comes time for them needing a social agency, they're like, well, we should go use the guys that we watch all their content with, which actually like works for all types of businesses, not just service. I mean, the best example probably in my opinion in the world right now is Red Bull. Like Red Bull makes the best content on social media.
Yeah, they do.
On YouTube, their stuff is amazing. And everyone likes it too. You know, everyone can understand the feat of the guy who skied down Mount Everest from the summer. Everyone, there's not a person in the world who doesn't understand what that guy did and it's fascinating. That is just an ad. That's a brand ad from Red Bull. That's all that is. But I think it's in the tens of millions of views, that video. Maybe not, maybe even more now. That there, most brands, I mean, now that's extreme. Not every brand can just put someone at the top of Mount Everest and ski them down. But also you don't have to get to that level. They're just the best in the business at doing it, right? With us, like I made LinkedIn posts. I just talked about my journey as I went through from literally day one of doing this business till today. I just post most days.
And it's quite a simple concept. You just posted and you were consistent.
Yeah.
Is it just posted every day or posted every week?
Mostly every day, yeah.
Yeah.
Just every day.
How do you have the time and capacity to do that?
Well, it generated me $10 million, so I'd do it every day. Like, why wouldn't I do it?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But at the start, you weren't making $10 million.
But I knew it would.
Okay.
How else was I going to do it, you know? Yeah, well, I think like a lot of people think that a lot of people are real short-sighted when it comes to business. Like they think, oh, I want to do this now and you should give me results tomorrow. And it's like if business was that easy, we'd all be doing it. We'd all be winning.
Yeah.
Businesses wouldn't be collapsing after their first year every year.
Yeah.
You know, very few businesses make it past its first year. Very, very, very few make it past 5 years. If business was as easy as, oh, well, I do a thing and I get money, then that wouldn't be a statistic. We'd all just be in business.
So you have a very clear understanding of your long-term game.
I think that I'm just like a realist. Like I understand like if...
It takes time.
Well, I think that everyone understands what I just said there about the statistics of business. Every single business owner understands that to be true. There's not a business owner you would ask who would say, no, you're wrong, Stan. They would all understand that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to their business, they're like, no, but I want it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why are you the exception?
Gotcha.
I'm not arrogant enough to think I'm the exception. I'm just part of the rule. Like I'm the same as everyone else.
Yeah.
I'm not unique in any standards.
Yeah.
And so if I'm not unique, then I have to understand, well, this is going to take years. Like this is literally going to take me years to get this done. So I'm going to post on LinkedIn and I'm going to hope for the best. But also like that was my brand. That was the 50% of brand, right? So remember I said there's two parts to marketing. There's brand and performance or advertising. So in that performance side, I also went to networking events every single night. I met with random people, for strangers. I was messaging, hey, you want to grab coffee? So at the beginning, I wasn't just posting on LinkedIn and sitting there going, man, I hope someone gives me some
that
business.
doesn't work. Okay.
That's silly. Like that, it doesn't work ever. You have to do both.
Yeah.
You have to do brand and sales, marketing and sales. And so that's what I did at the beginning. And I just knew that if I did the brand long enough, those conversations at the sales activity piece would come to me. I wouldn't have to go to them. So in the initial, I was outreaching everyone, spamming people like, want to grab coffee? I'm new in town, want to have coffee. And now, like we never do that. Now it's always
people
inbound.
just come to you, yeah.
But that, that's cost me, I don't know, $2 or $3 million to build that out. So when you ask like, how did I do that? Initially it was time.
Yeah,
because I didn't have the money.
A lot of time.
But now I have the money. I pay other people to do it.
Do you have any wisdom about the type of places that you would go to build relationships, or is it just like any event? Because you have to be quite discerning, especially if someone who's still making money, like $1 million business, let's say. I think they've gone past that. I don't know. Would I be dare to say past the BNI type networking events, or what are we talking here? Like this is more like wisdom from business advice from your own experience. I
mean, if the
quality networking.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, if you think about this podcast.
And by the way, also,
yeah.
Why would you go out and network if you can do an amazing workshop and have people all come to you, and it's almost like your own networking session, really?
Yeah, there's a couple of questions there. First one, I mean, that one's probably easy to ask is like, if I could have done that at the beginning, I would have done that.
What?
Like workshops.
Oh, okay.
If I got to run.
Why didn't you do it?
Well, I had no brand. Like I had no money
I
to
see.
pay for the ads. So I couldn't put the $500 on. I didn't have it.
Okay.
So there's no way I could do it.
Okay. So that wouldn't be your strategy.
I also didn't have an area expertise that I knew how to do. I didn't have Claude in that point to tell me how to do all this stuff. I didn't have all the context brain. So you can't just like spin it up out of fresh air, right? So your product has to be based on something. Otherwise, you're just a snake or a salesman and you're not really selling anything of value. And that's fine. Some people do that and they can make a bit of money in this thing. But I was never going to do that. I was never going to sell something that I just like made up on the spot. I had to build it. And so that's the first thing. The second thing is like people always talk about like, oh, I want quality meetings and quality networking and everything. And it has to make sure it leads to a sale and like blah, blah, blah in the pipeline. But like if you think about me coming here on this podcast, like there's no direct pathway for sales actually, right?
No.
But I do these all the time.
But this is one to many.
It is one to many, but
Well,
like
actually, this is networking because you're networking with an audience.
exactly. It is the same thing as a networking. It's the same sort of activity, right? It's like, why would I like? I probably go on like I don't know a podcast a week, probably, right?
Yeah.
And some people, their audiences are brand new. I'm the first episode they've ever done.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, why would I do that? Well, the thing is that I understand that you don't know which piece of the marketing funnel is going to be the thing that gets someone to buy. One of the reasons I do so many podcasts is that people have seen me on all these other people's podcasts and they're like, well, there must be something trustworthy of this guy because all these other people are having him on and these people all got podcasts and podcasts are serious things. So this guy's getting asked to be on serious podcast stuff. And so it builds trust. It might be my ad that converts them or it might be a meeting I have with them one-on-one, but it's all marketing messages. You could argue, why does Coca-Cola, one of the biggest companies in the world, put its sign up on the little dairy down in Williamson Ave? Like, why is that happening? Well, they know that if they're just everywhere all the time, when people go in to grab a drink, they're probably going to grab a Coke, you know? And so it's the same principle. That's brand. And a lot of business owners will be like, oh, I don't have the time to do this and they don't want to do it. It's like, that's fine. You're just you're just running a different type of business. For me, the reason I do everything is because I'm not trying to build a lifestyle business. I'm not trying to build a business that like gets to a point of having $1 million revenue, which is amazing, by the way, which puts you already in the top echelon of businesses in New Zealand. Very few get to $1 million in revenue. That's insane if you can get to that. I'm not trying to do that though, right? Like I'm trying, like as I said to you when we first sat down, most of my career was in Australia. I have enough super in my account to retire. Like I'm good to retire. I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going for broke. Like I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing it because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to every single podcast. I'm going to go to every single networking event. I know that the compounding effect will pay off at some point. I know that it will. I've proven it for the last 7 years that it works. And so I'll just continue to do it. But most business owners will be like, no, I want instant gratification.
Yeah.
And I just don't care.
That's the hold up. So for people who not sure about getting on maybe podcast guesting and stuff like that, because this is the area that I do, and I'm not going to tell them to go and do it, but what would you say? Because from your experience, you've just proved that being a guest actually is helpful for yourself, for your business.
I think podcasts are one way of finding new audiences quickly that doesn't cost you a lot of money as a business owner. You know, like this will be an hour and a half of my time, maybe 2 hours with travel time, 2 Uber fares. That's nothing compared to like how much it would cost me to acquire new audiences. Actually, even if you didn't have an audience and you just produced this and gave me the content, I couldn't pay someone to do that for cheaper than what it cost me to be here. You know what I mean? Like just you doing all this and editing it all and if you gave me the clips rather than even putting it out yourself, even that is cheaper than me trying to get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It cost me more to get my team to do that for me.
Okay.
So even that, like content is expensive to create. It's even more expensive to find a distribution channel that you can push it on. So a couple of hours of your time is such a tiny cost. Like it's actually the cheapest way possible. That's why I do it. This is by far the cheapest way to produce content.
Isn't it?
Oh, so cheap. And like it took me 2 hours of my time.
Yeah.
That's it.
But would you, if you're a business owner, because I know that there's some podcasters out there and fairly so that they say, okay, well, you're not quite, you don't fit our podcast or we've got a whole heap of people, but if you really want to come on that show, you can, give us I don't know, $1,000 and we'll create a whole bunch of content and quality stuff for you to use as marketing. But not a lot of people jump at the idea.
Yeah, I think there's two things to that. Is that if you're beginning out in your time as like someone who's going to appear on podcast episodes, and you don't have the credibility or the brand to be offered spots on a podcast, then the other way is and you're trying to shortcut that, then it's money.
Yeah.
And so that question, and which has been the answer to a lot of questions, which a lot of people don't dislike this answer, is it's time or money. Like either go put in the time and build your brand so the podcast people want you, or go spend the money to be on.
Exactly.
And shortcut the time frame. That's why you spend money with people. So people who don't understand that and the value of it's like, okay, well, you go figure it out for yourself. Go spend your time. And that's the options that you have. Or just don't do it and then don't reap the benefits of it. So every decision has like consequences, and
absolutely
people have to understand, like, if you don't want to invest the money in doing something like this, then you're not going to get the return from it. And if you don't have the time to go and do it, then spend the money to do it. Like spending $1,000 to get a podcast episode created, if you're at that beginning stages of your career or your business or your brand building, is cheap as chips. Like when you think about it, actually, like when you go to a person who is geared up to produce stuff at that scale, they can get efficiencies in their production, which means that they can offer it to you for, say, $1,000, where like if you were to go get like a freelance videographer and all the sets and all the stuff, it's going to cost you like $6,000.
Yeah.
All of a
and
sudden.
Also it's actually, it's a nicer way of talking.
Yeah.
It's a nicer way of showcasing yourself, your personality, your demeanor, your expertise. I find it really awkward when people get trained to speak on camera and then just try to remember stuff. Because most of them are very new to that and it doesn't come across quite natural. But when you actually, it's better to have this conversation because it's a human stuff and there's back and forth and there's emotion involved, there's nuances, and it's a conversation. And also, if someone is new to podcasting, it's nice to get that credibility from the host as well. So
100%.
You've got heaps of credibility. So maybe my credibility is up because I'm sitting with you, but at the same time, it's like an exchange of credibilities,
100%.
but a different level, I suppose.
Yeah. I think that if you appear on someone's podcast, you get it helps build your brand. I think if you're going to appear on someone's podcast, the best thing to do is appear on lots of people's podcasts. I think just you appearing once on one person's podcast, it's not going to do much. It's not going to do much for you.
No, you need volume.
You need volume.
Yeah.
The person who has the podcast, as it being their podcast, they could probably get the better return. Like you think about Joe Rogan. Yeah. We all know Joe Rogan. Yeah. I don't know a tenth of the guests that have gone on his podcast. Yeah. But we all know him. So the podcast guest the podcast host gets the most credibility out of the situation, which is fine. Yeah. So then if you're a podcast guest and you want the same level of credibility, you have to go on everyone's podcast because Joe Rogan's done thousands of podcast episodes. So you need to do 1,000, but just on 1,000 different podcasts. Yeah. So to get the same level of credibility, you have to do lots. But you are right. It's definitely a mutual exchange. Yeah. And you should think of it like that. But of course, if you don't have the same level of credibility to offer the podcast host, and they're totally in their right to charge you for that like benefit, because they like how much work does this take, right? Like it doesn't just happen.
Yeah, no.
Just the admin. The admin of
the process of making it.
Oh, I mean,
you know it.
I know.
Do you guys have a podcast, eh?
Yeah, I have a podcast.
Yeah, and do you do weekly or?
The first 3 seasons we did it weekly. The current season will start, I think tomorrow it comes out, and it'll be every 2 weeks. Oh, cool. We're only going to do about 15 episodes this year. It's sort of changed tact a little bit with things. But yeah, like we did it every week. I think we've done 100 and something episodes. So we did it for like about 6 months or something of every year, a little bit more than that. Oh, I see. So we didn't do it all through summer. We don't usually do it through the summer months. One, because we're like really busy in December, really quiet in January. So I take time off. So there's like this period of time we just don't do them. Yeah. And it's just easier anyway. There's a lot of stuff going on. So the bulk of the season during the winter, we'll do most of the episodes. Okay. This year we tried some different things and played around with it a little bit. And also like I'm on so many other people's podcasts. Like I get a bit like overdoing my own one, because I've done it for so long now, and I also I do more podcast episodes of other people's podcasts now than my own, right? Because I do so many, right? Like I do them all the time. Yeah. And because of that, like sitting in a podcast room, to give the podcast hosts enough of me, if I'm also doing all of mine all the time, like I'm like, oh gosh.
It's hard to do both.
Yeah.
Is this what you found?
It's hard to like, I'm doing so many different things.
Yeah.
I'm speaking on stages. I'm going to podcasts. I'm doing content for my own Instagram, LinkedIn, the company socials, everything.
Yeah.
To then add another one to it, something always has to give. And so my podcast was one that I'm still going to do 15 episodes this year, and it'll still be great. And the first 5 are far more highly produced. Like we did them at a restaurant. We had food. It was a whole thing. We played a play of them.
Okay.
The next 10 won't be to the same extent, but we did 5 just to have a bit of fun. So that was cool. That was fun. I couldn't do that level for 15 because it was like 4 hours of shooting
and you
time
have a
and
team.
whatever.
You have a massive team, and you say yourself you can't do that much.
Well, no way. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like you think like,
which goes to show how much goes into making pods.
oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not that I pretty much read hardly any of it, but I seen even the back and forth you had with my EA, just getting the admin done here.
I know, right?
It's just so much. I
was thinking, how cool is that to have an EA to do that? I can't wait to have that myself.
I mean, it's by far the most important person in the office.
Yeah.
By a long shot. You know what? Like even.
And I was wondering if it was an AI.
Nah. No, I don't think. Like I've talked about this before. I don't think
it didn't sound like an AI.
I just don't think an AI EA is right anyway. Like my EA does more than answer emails for sure. Like
there's a real brain there.
Yeah, she really like balances me. Like she makes sure that I'm looked after.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And my wife needs her to be there because my wife needs me to be not come home a zombie. You
yes.
know, like I need to show up to my wife. I work so much that my wife doesn't want me turning up, not give her the same energy that she deserves as well. So your EA helps balance you through life and what you need to do and making sure that you like, she'll cancel things. She'll be like, oh, hey, I've cancelled your afternoon. I'm sorry, I've rescheduled them. You need to go sit down. You're fine.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
The
AI can't do that.
No, AI can't do that. AI is like, you've got free space, let's fill it. Like, you know what I mean? But she can tell just by seeing my demeanor. She's like, you're over it. You've had a real tough morning. Like I'm pulling your meetings. She doesn't do it often because she's seen me go and I'm pretty good. But like she knows sometimes like, you need to go.
Yeah. That is such a blessing to have someone like that.
Oh, you have to. I mean, that's why you want an EA as opposed to an AI assistant. AI assistants will manage your productivity in terms of like emails going out and back and forth and all that sort of stuff. But someone to manage your energy, I mean, AI can't do that. Not yet. It probably cannot do that right now.
Probably, yeah. You might be able to in the future.
Yeah.
But how do you, I don't want to say the balance because there's no such thing. But you're in a different stage, like very busy, big company, lots of people, a lot of involvements, podcast speaking, your own show. I did want to ask you before this question, actually, how has podcasting, having your own show, helped your business? Or did it help at all?
Yeah.
Was it a good investment? Did you guys?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, like I said.
I mean, this is what you're doing. Otherwise you wouldn't do it.
Like I've said all the time, this entire podcast, like for me, it's all about total awareness time.
Yeah.
So my own podcast, what it actually did, so our podcast was originally designed and mostly still is, interviewing people with large brands, so large followings. And so we have it's mostly content creators, but not always.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And what that did initially when we first started the podcast was when I first started doing organic social media, because we were just doing LinkedIn in the first 3 years. That's what I knew. That's what I helped. Yeah. The last 4 years we've been doing organic social to the scale that we've been doing it.
Okay.
When I started that process of organic social, I started the social series as well. I mean, the podcast. And the reason I did that, I wanted all the brands in New Zealand and Australia to realize or think, God, this guy knows all the content creators. Like this guy is a content creator and knows all the content creators.
Oh, okay.
He's in this. He's the center of that universe.
Why is that important?
Well, content creators control what happens on social media. Like they decide culture. You know, like our culture in today's world is defined by social media now. Like so many things that you see in the world and the way it interacts is because of social media, and the content creators are the ones who drive that. Yeah. And so if I want to be at the top and pinnacle of the organic social world, I have to be in amongst this world of content creators. And so how do I put myself in a position of authority with them? Well, I create a podcast where I have all of them and I do the Joe Rogan effect of, well, this is the guy with all of them.
Okay.
And so that's what we did. And that became the thing. Like, so now I know and have met, over 100 of the content creators and the biggest content creators.
And was it one-on-one or online?
Yeah, one-on-one podcast. Yeah, in person. Yeah. In our studio.
In New Zealand?
Yeah.
So you spoke to all the creators in New Zealand, not overseas?
I've spoken to some overseas. Yeah, when I've
okay.
travelled. Yeah, we've had a few
Nice.
overseas, but most of them in New Zealand,
Okay.
and some of the
There's
biggest.
heaps then, by the sounds.
Yeah, there's lots. I mean, there's lots. I mean, there's thousands of content creators in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even close to scratching the surface.
I haven't gotten deep
Yeah.
into talking to many of them. I think maybe you're the
Yeah.
first like big shot, to be honest, of creator out there.
Yeah,
I haven't really got into the whole influencer, yet, but I've focused on like CEOs.
yeah.
I suppose you're a CEO as well,
Yeah.
but like that would be a really cool way to learn more about them.
Yeah, it's a good way. I mean, they're good people. They know what they're doing. They know how to tell stories. You know, some of them luck their way into it, and some of them being intentional about it.
Yeah.
But it did help brands think, oh well, you know, such and such, and you know, they always. It's a big thing for brands to see us in the middle of this world, that we're not just an agency who actually like we do.
You're in the thick of it.
We actually do it.
You're having conversations. So this is what really helped you. But did you guys ever get clients from your podcast?
Well, you know,
it's
it's hard to understand. Like
it's hard to actually pinpoint it.
Yeah, where any of our clients come from.
You can't attribute.
No. I mean, I can tell you the channel that they
might scare some people off.
Well, I can tell you the channel that they reached out to, but if I was, and 50% of them come through LinkedIn. I mean, it's starting to change a little bit now, probably more. Oh no, it's probably still 50%.
Because you started in LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And then you moved to Instagram.
We went LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram.
And that was clearly a strategy for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, TikTok at the time was blowing up. It was the biggest platform in the world at the time. And then we saw that Instagram was about to take off again, and we jumped ship to Instagram. Instagram's by far like the bigger platform at the moment.
Is it still good?
Instagram.
Or is it dying off?
What's that? Which
Instagram.
one? No, it's it. It's the top.
Is it?
From a like YouTube is better from like a long form sort of thing, but like Instagram's massive.
Well, what about the people who are talking about there's a real massive drop? Like even Gary Vee was talking about drop in followers, people not following anymore. They tend to like watch content that they like, but not necessarily hit follow and do that stuff.
I mean, that's just a different conversation. That's not saying that
I see
social media is dying.
I see.
That's saying how human behavior is acting on the platform.
But they are still attracting, in your view, of course.
I mean, if you make good content, people will watch it, no matter where you put it. You put good content on YouTube, they'll watch it. You put it on TV, they'll watch it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Good content is good content. It doesn't matter where you put it, it'll find it. In the past, the difference with social media now is that we have platforms that will actively push your content if it's good.
Yeah.
And it's free to distribute.
We were talking about balance and your EA telling you to take it easy and go see your wife. How do you balance or deal with all the commitments that you have?
I don't know. It's a weird question to ask me. Like,
it is weird.
Well, I just don't understand that. Like, I don't really understand the question. You know what I mean? Like, it's in my calendar. That's how I do it. You know what I mean? Like, I know people put too much stock in it, I think.
So people who don't have an EA maybe, or people who've got so much going on.
Put it in your calendar. Like, just be good with it.
The answer is just to
manage your time.
I suppose what you're saying is block out time for you.
Yeah, I'm going to Kiri this weekend with my family for 3 days for the long weekend.
Oh, okay.
And it's in my calendar.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing else getting booked.
So you're choosing that over working. But in the early days, was that the case? Or were you like
if I wanted it to. Yeah.
Working hard?
If I wanted it, I would have,
Okay.
I'm like, I just, if it's in the calendar. Yeah. I know that sounds like kind of a cheap answer, but like, I think just people overcook it. Like, are you doing, in the time that you're doing the thing that's in your calendar, are you doing it? Or are you just saying you're doing it? Like, if I'm going to network, I'm networking and I'm going to make the most of it. And then as soon as I've stopped networking, I'm home. And I can switch, like my brain's always on, but if my wife wants me, then I'll just switch my brain back to her and I'll be there in that conversation. And like, I'm still young. Like I turned 40 in, I don't know, however many months now.
Oh, wow.
But, I mean, you're still young at 40. Like,
right.
You know, 40 is the new 20 these days.
Yeah,
like it's like we're in a different world. So like, I'm not worried about right now. It's the season of like, growing the business. My wife gets it. She's part of, like, she's co-owner. So together we run this.
Oh, okay.
I'm obviously the face of it. But she understands. Like, you know, I mean, we're going away to Kirikiri this weekend. We're in Sydney last weekend for her birthday. Like I take the time when I need it. If I really need to like veg out and do nothing, I'll book in the whole day of just playing Xbox, and I just won't do anything else. Like,
but you can afford it because you've got this level of business.
oh, I did it all the way through.
Really?
Hey, yeah, for sure. I'm very good at getting into my nothing box.
Because you're not in the mindset of you have to work like demons to make this work.
Oh, I definitely am, but that doesn't mean you have to work 24/7. Because if my brain's not working, then I'm not working. Like yesterday,
not helpful.
I was exhausted at 7 p.m. When I'd finished my last call with a client.
Yep.
And I could have stayed at work and worked too. There was heaps of work I could have done.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have done it very well.
You wouldn't do it?
Well, I wouldn't have done it very well.
Okay.
So I was better off just like calling it quits and going home.
Your motto is just to go home.
I was done. I'd been in coaching and discovery calls with clients from 6:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. back-to-back calls the whole day and a speaking gig in the beginning of the day at the Port of Auckland. And so I was tapped out. Like I'm naturally introverted. So like that killed me.
Yeah, that's right.
But then there'll be other days where like on a weekend when it's just me at the office on my own doing work for myself, I can do 16 hours and come home and be fully energized because I haven't had to spend all my energy with people. You know, like people like sap me of a lot of energy, but I don't mind that. That's not a negative. It's just it is how my energy is works. And so when people are like, "Oh, you need to hustle," it's like if you're not achieving anything with that hustle, then you're not really hustling, are you? You're just being a busy idiot. So I'm not going to go be a busy idiot for no reason. Like if I've got something to achieve and I have to get it done, I'm going to go get it done. If I have things that I can put off till tomorrow, then I'll go put them off till tomorrow. But I also understand if I spent this weekend in the office grinding, I might make another 50 grand. I might be able to do something and figure it out. Maybe. I don't know. And so I have to toss up that, like my wife and I know that like if I'm going away for the weekend, the business stands still for 3 days.
You know, you don't get called?
Hey?
No one calls you when you're away?
Oh, no one has my phone number.
Oh.
No one has my phone number. No one has these phone numbers except my EA, my mum, and my wife.
Okay. So when your EA called me, that was not your number?
It's my work number, but I don't carry that phone. She does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So people can call and she'll get it to me. Like if I'm in the office and someone needs to talk to me, she'll get the phone to me.
Oh, okay.
But I won't have to answer it.
Oh, okay.
So because like otherwise that's a lot of drain on my time.
Yeah.
Same reason why I don't get in my emails. I don't read my own text messages and all that sort of stuff. Like I will be given it as I need it. And I put someone in that place to filter that stuff because I don't need it most of the time. Most people don't need me to answer it. They just need an answer. Yeah.
What would you say that you would take to be successful? What has helped you get successful?
Like for most people that I meet, their problem is they expect results. There's a real narrative in the world when you get older that you talk about the young generation being entitled. I'd say the biggest entitlement I ever see in this country is like business owners expecting they should get paid for the work that they do, the product that they've created. Look at my product, it's so good, why aren't you buying it? It's like, why? Why should I pay you? Why should I give you my money? There's 800,000 businesses in this country. Why should you get mine? That is so often the problem. People think that their product or service is the best. They will all tell you theirs is the best. Every single business who comes into our company and they start onboarding like, oh, look, we're so great. We've got the best people and stuff. And like, we'll call bullshit on them straight away. We'll say, like, you're not, like, it's not true. Like, you aren't any better than anyone else. We have one of the largest energy retailers as a client of ours. And they try to say the same thing. And the first thing we said to is like, hey, we just need you to understand that like, you're no different to anyone else. Like, you're just as terrible as the rest of the energy retailers. The faster you make that realization, the better we can do this with you.
Okay.
Don't think that you don't smoke your own supply.
Okay.
Like, you have to understand that like you're not unique in the world. Unless you're the top, like unless you're actually Apple or Nike or these, I mean, even Nike's not at the top anymore, but like, let's say you're one of these guys who are actually holding the top spot globally, then get out of your head. We're not the best content creators in the world. I can't create content like Mr. Beast, you know, like I can't do that sort of stuff. So just the faster you can get out of your head that you're special and that you're just another cog in the wheel, but you can, once you understand that and you can be real about it, now you can build a brand around you and you can build a brand around the things that people care about. They don't care if you're the best shoemaker in the world or the best accountant. They just want to know, can we do work together? You know, wearing your shoe, does it make the world see me as this person I want them to see me as? And the only way I can do that is by like convincing you through brand, whatever it might be, the way that you're going to go forward. So if you're trying to become successful and you think you're the best at what you do, you probably won't. You probably won't, because you'll go in with this naivety and people just won't care. And you'll constantly trying to be telling them, look how good we are, look how much of an expert we are, look at all the stuff that we've achieved. And everyone like, I don't care. I don't know who you are. Go away. You know, most businesses in New Zealand, of those 800,000 of them, the majority of them are small businesses that no one has ever heard about, ever. And then they go out to the world and say how expert they are. And it's like, well, mate, you're an accountant. Yeah, you might have 20 people in your team, blah, blah, blah. You might do real good. But like Luke over here, I've been watching his podcast for 6 years. Like, I trust the guy. I'm going to go with him. Mm-hmm. I don't care how good you think you are. Like, I'm going with this guy. And so that idea of like what was success for me was never, ever trying to tell the world that we're the best at what we do. Ever. We told you what we can do, but we're never going to tell you that we're the best. Ever. Like everyone, like I've often been on stage. I've been on stage before and people have gone, hey, like, why does the attention seeker think they're the best at what they do? Or they'll ask us something of the similar effect. And I was like, when did I ever say that? I've never said that. I think I'm as terrible as everyone else. We're all just as useless as each other. And I've never once said that I'm the best. So like, I'm not. I'm actually hopeless at what I do. You go get Mr. Beast. He can pull out a phone, spit on it, put it online, 100 million views. Like, I try my hardest, I get 4,000. I'm not even close to being the best. But because of that, I know that, okay, now I've got to, without this, like, I don't know, rose-tinted glasses on in the world, I can be a bit more rooted in reality and go, okay, what can I actually achieve then today? And actually go after that rather than trying to pretend I'm the best accountant in the world. You know what I mean?
So the motto is do not be the best, or don't say I'm the best. Just show it.
Yeah,
what are you saying?
Just
do you
be.
Say, just be it.
Just be you. So as soon as you're not trying to be the best, you can get some self-awareness and realization where you actually are and play at that market. You know, you asked before, like, how do these businesses like try sell this $10,000 product that they've seen other people do? It's like, well, you're not them. Like, don't. Maybe you can't. Maybe you're at best going to sell it for $20. Like, get realistic in where you are. Yeah, one day you might be able to sell it for 10 grand, but right now you can't. Don't look at someone's day 10,000 at your day 0 and think I can do that. Be realistic with where you are and play that. And that's why you're not going to, you might get there, but don't try to get there from day one if you don't have the resources or the money or the brand to do that. Just play where you are. I know where I sit in the marketplace. I don't try to be bigger than who I am. I'm never going to take on the biggest agencies in the world right now. Like right now, I couldn't take on, VaynerMedia or even the FCB and DDB and all these like Ogilvy's and all these guys. They will win more social contracts than I will win, like just in New Zealand, let alone globally. And they are not organic social agencies. They don't even pretend to be, and they'll win way more business than I will. I'm not playing at their level. So I'm going to go attack at my level. Okay. I can beat them at my game. I can't beat them at their game. Yeah. And that's why people, in my experience where I've seen businesses fall over, is that they're trying to play someone else's game, and you're never going to beat someone else at their game. So I'm just going to play my own game. Yeah.
Great words to finish this conversation. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Stanley. It's been great to have you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.